What is up, everybody? We are back with another episode of the Vision to Reality Show. Switching it up a little bit today. I am at the crib. Usually I'm in the studio with my guests, but this one's real special because this is our first virtual episode. I got my boy Eric Ross. Been knowing him for a while now. When it just comes to online and really, being a pioneer in this online space. When I was trying to learn about trading and making money online, he was one of the first people I saw back in 2015 and 2016, really killing it when it came to network marketing and trading. Years later, after having an extensive military career, he is now a licensed financial advisor, right?
Yes, sir.
A financial advisor. I want to make sure I got that right. As well as, when it comes to life insurance and just everything when it comes to really financial literacy. This dude is on it. He's always on Facebook and every social media platform, really just giving out good advice. And I was like, yo, I need you to talk to my audience. So welcome to the show, Eric. Appreciate you, bro. Thank you for taking the time out.
Yes, sir. I appreciate it, man. It's a pleasure as always to had a conversation with you, and let's chop it up, educate some people on some things, and we just take it from there.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So for those of the people that don't know you, like I said, I've been friends with you on social media. We've never met. You actually the first podcast guest that I have never met in person, but I feel like I know you because I've watched your journey from the sidelines, just being on social media. So for those who don't know Eric Ross, give them a little bit of an introduction, better than what I just did, but your own recap of who you are.
Okay, so a little introduction about me. Eric Ross, 31 years old, from Baltimore, Maryland. Grew up working summer jobs in Baltimore City. We got something called YouthWorks. My first summer doing YouthWorks, I made $1,200. The next summer, I started selling kitchen knives called Cutco. And 1 week I made $1,200 in a week. So the summer before I made $1,200 the whole summer, and then in a week I made $1,200 selling kitchen knives. And something kind of just clicked in my head from there. Like, man, sales. Like, you can make a lot more money selling something than being an employee. And ever since then, I always had the entrepreneur mindset. My mom, she was an entrepreneur. She was in the insurance business herself. I seen her make $40,000 in a month before. And I said, man, it's clearly something about being a business owner, running your own business. And from that point forward, I got into some network marketing, had some success in network marketing, and did eight and a half years in the military. I was a medic and then was a flight attendant. Actually flew politicians all over the world, the vice president, first lady, other politicians you guys may know. I was flying them all over the country. 2023, got diagnosed with a medical condition, and that kind of dropped me into my calling, which is I always wanted to do financial literacy with people, and I feel like that was just God's way of saying, look, you're not going to be able to do it in the military, you're too busy. And so he got me out of the military, and now within a month I got my first license, and I got all 4 investment licenses within 2 months after getting the first license. And now I'm just helping families one by one build some generational wealth, set up their retirement accounts, help with trust funds, help with wills, custodial accounts for their kids, the whole nine, anything you could think of when it comes to finances. So that's just a little background about me. And
That's amazing, man. And like you said, you came from that sales world. You saw your mom making money with insurance. So just talk about getting into sales, because a lot of people, you either love it or you hate it, right? So you said you did Cutco, and that's kind of where you caught the bug. So were you doing like door to door? What was your marketing tactic back then?
well, the marketing tactic with that was warm market. That's one thing you always going to learn in sales. Start with your warm market, and then work your way out. My mom was my first client, and I think that was kind of a big motivation to me. She bought like the biggest kitchen set, and I made like $600 just off selling that one kitchen set. And I guess that gave me the confidence to be the confidence to be the number 2 sales rep in my office that summer. Yeah, so I started with my mom, then she gave me 10 referrals, went to my cousins, my aunts, they gave me referrals, and then I started, getting to those referrals, and they would refer me to people too. I would do such a great job at the presentation. You always got to build rapport first. That's one thing that I've learned. People aren't really buying the product; they're buying you. So you kind of got to sell yourself. You can sell salt to a slug if you can, you know, talk to people correctly. To be honest, so
Right.
yeah, man, that kind of just got me, man. Commissions, 1099 work, and it's not really many it's not use your 9 to 5 job to fund your business. I tell people that you make 100K as an employee. I mean, you don't get really any tax benefits to making 100K or 150K being an employee. Always figure out how to get a 1099, a LLC or something to write some things off. That way that you can keep some of your money. You know, people was
Right,
mad
right,
at Donald Trump because he paid $1 in taxes. I mean, he just doing what smart business people do, write things off.
right.
Yep.
No, 100%. You know, so when I came across you, like I said, we've just been connected on social media to this day, have never shaken hands in person. But you were doing
Mhm.
MLM. I think it was Wake Up Now back then. So when did you start getting into that? Was that like college, or you saw someone doing it? What got you into the network marketing world?
Man, a good friend of mine, my frat brother Hassan, he actually, I was popping on Vine. I had 100,000 followers on Vine. He was like, Eric, man, check out this business. I think people will follow you, and anything you do, man, people will flock to you. So I was like, look, man, it's $100 to join. Cool. I made the investment, and within a few months, I started making 5,000 a month. With Wake Up Now, and I'm like, man, I had the mindset. I was in college at the time. I'm like, man, I'm making what the teacher's making. What I'm in college for? 19 years old, making 5,000 a month, and that kind of woke me up because even the guys who were above me, they were in their young 20s too. Cortez Ellison, he was making 44,000 a month. I was like, man, something is
Shout
wrong with
out.
this business. Yeah, I was like, something is wrong with this business. They paying us too much money. Something ain't right. But it just opened my mind. Going to the mansion parties in Vegas, just partying with these guys, seeing a different life. That the regular ordinary person wouldn't see. Being outside the business. Yeah, man, that kind of really got me stuck. Like the Cutco was making 1,200 in a week. That was cool at 17, but seeing guys making 44,000, they driving Lamborghinis, they renting out mansion parties, Meek Miller's at the party. I'm like, man, this is nuts at 19. So I got exposed to a lot at a young age, and I never really had the desire to just be an employee. So I mean, I was in the military. That was yeah. I joined the military. I hit rock bottom at one point in my life, and I was like, man, I'm joining the military. The military,
Right, right,
I made great of the military. I have nothing bad to say about the Air Force. And I mean, it's a bunch of great benefits of being in the military. So I definitely use the military as a vehicle to boost me up to the next level as well. Um,
right. So overall, it sounds like you were always just looking for opportunity, right? To create freedom. And I was gonna say, I'm surprised you went the military route because having success at a young age and making a couple
yeah.
$1,000s without a job, most people be like, I'm not doing anything structured. But you still went
hmm
that military route. You still went ahead and did that path. So, what did you really get out of the military? That kind of transitioned you to where you are now. Do you feel like that was like vital for you to kind of get some structure? Because a lot of people feel like when they don't have a foundation, they can't really continue to build. So do you think that military gave you that structure? Because you seem very structured now, like with everything, diet, business. So did that come from that, or that's just who you are?
Nah, the military definitely gave me some structure because I was a wild boy, and I think that was another reason why I just hit rock bottom. Like I'm talking rock bottom. Like I was doing the Wake Up Now thing. That fell off after a while. I think the company went bankrupt, and I just couldn't
Mhm.
figure out what was next for me, and I was struggling. I was doing other MLMs, but I couldn't get it back going. I feel like people kind of lost faith in MLM after that kind of went down, and I'm like, man, this is it. So I joined the military because I was like, I had like $0 in my bank account. I was maxing out a $2,000 credit card, and I was like, just I don't have nothing. I'm joining the military. That was it. Yeah, the military definitely gave me structure, and it was just stability. For the first time in a while, I had some stability because you being your own boss, you don't have much stability. It's either you're gonna make it happen or you're not. And me being
Right, right,
20, 21, 22, I just like I said, I couldn't figure it out. The biggest thing that I took away from the military was one, half your income was tax free. You get BAH, BAS. That's tax-free income. That was great too. The VA loan, no money down on homes. I got 2 properties now. One is an Airbnb. That Airbnb cash flows me enough income to pay the mortgage where I live at and to pay that mortgage, and then some on top of that.
Wow.
And just having an Airbnb, you can write off your entire mortgage. If you can't, I've been doing it for the past 2 years. IRS, I'm sorry if I didn't know no better, but it's your mortgage. Without the mortgage, without the house, I can't run the business. That is why I write that off as a tax. I'm pretty sure you probably got some accountants and some tax guys who could correct me if I'm wrong. But yeah, man, like I say, it's a bunch of tax benefits to being a business owner.
Okay. So like you said, the military, and then at one point, you told me you were actually like a flight attendant for some of the higher ups in the military, we'll say. So what was that experience like? Just doing that and seeing different things.
Yeah, man, it was great, man. So we had to go to culinary school. It's not like you get on the Southwest plane, they give you 1 bag of peanuts and
Right.
1 soda. We had to go to culinary school. When these people would get on the plane, we had to welcome them with a boarding drink. If it was hot, we made sure we had cold towels for them, for them to wipe off the sweat on their heads. We already had snacks and stuff on their tables and stuff. The vice president, she had a 50-inch TV in her little office in the air. The seats were gold. I'm like, this is so the plane only seated 60 people. So it was kind of like a Southwest 757 plane, but the configuration was totally different. It only seated 60 people. When we flew, we stayed in the nicest hotels. When we got off the planes, they had rental cars lined up waiting for us. And when we got to the hotel, they already had our keys waiting for us at the hotel. It was crazy. It was like a rock star lifestyle. Now you worked hard on that plane because we had to put the bags in the belly. We had to cook on the plane. I'm talking salmon, teriyaki. They wanted the full course meal, so we cooking. We got to plate all 40 of these meals and send them out. By the time we send out the last meal, the dirty plates start coming back. So now I gotta wash all of the plates, and then I got like 5 minutes to eat myself, and then next thing you know, it's time for the next meal. So my back would be hurting on them planes. I'm telling you, my back would be hurting on them planes, but I will say that you got free vacations. I didn't complain about it. Now that I'm out of the military and I see how expensive it is to travel out of the country, I can't complain, man. I spent the night in 20 different countries in 10 months, and it was a great experience, man. If we were in that country for 60 hours, we got to explore that country. Have fun, go experience new cultures. Just make sure you don't show up when it's time to get back on that plane drunk.
Yeah. So that's interesting because I don't think most people will never get that type of experience. How many people were in that crew with you, like when you were on that plane?
So it'd be 40 passengers and it'd be 20 crew members. It'd be 4 pilots. It'd be 6 flight attendants. It'd be 4 securities guys and 4 comm guys who handle all of the telephone and the Wi-Fi stuff in the air for those people. So yeah, it was some cool people, man. I miss it, but like I say, I'm moving on to bigger and better things with the financial advising, and that's my true call, and that's my true purpose. I call it the financial gospel, man. A good man leaves an inheritance to his children's children. That's in the Bible. So
that's tough. That's tough. And like I said, you were one of the first people I saw talking about all this stuff, network marketing, but trading. So did trading kind of give you that bug as well? Like, I need to get more into my finance? Because I remember you posting about Forex way before the pandemic, when it wasn't popular at all.
Yeah. Because I was in IM Academy. I got to the founder 2000. But yeah, definitely the trading interested me. It had my interest, and I mean, I feel like one day I made like a $1,200 in a day. So we go from making $1,200 in a week selling knives and then I just made 1,200 in a day from my phone, not even on my couch with my feet up. I'm like, hold on. So yeah, Forex, people would always think Forex is a scam. I'm like, it's the foreign exchange, if you go to a different country, you're participating in Forex. Oh, it was definitely interesting, but I will say that I've blown my account a few times with Forex as well. It's a little bit more riskier, so you gotta have a good community of guys who know what they're doing to to lead you. Don't try to do that alone. That's important. Go get behind some guys that know what they're doing, who's been doing it, who's profitable, who's got a track record, and go into that. I don't tell anybody to try to do stuff on your own, even if you're doing any other type of trading, options trading. I do some options trading. I mean, can I tell you about my first time in options?
Yeah, look, I've been hearing so much about options too, because a lot of people quit Forex. A lot of people have given up on Forex now. So I see, I love Forex because that was like the first thing that ever made me real money. That was my
Yeah.
first thing that ever paid me 5 figures in a month. So
Mm.
I'm kind of biased to it, but I've been seeing people really talk about the options. I had a homie call me. He's like, "Yo, I'm done with Forex. Like options is the way." So please, I definitely want to know about that experience.
Yeah. So options, man. I follow Wall Street Trapper. I've been following him for a minute. And I was watching him, and I seen him. He had a $400,000 account 2 years ago, and now he's got like a $5 million account just off options. And he does something called leap options, so it's not day trading. And I tell people, look, don't day trade unless you're ready for that. Do some leap options,
Right.
like get a contract that expires 6 months from now, 9 months from now, a year from now. It's less volatile. If you day trading, man, you can lose 100% in 2 hours. It's crazy. But what really got me hooked to options now, because I got in a car accident, $20,000 settlement check that I got. I said, I'm about to put it in an investment account, options. So my issue was I put the whole 20,000 on one trade. So I over leveraged. You should never, one trade should never be able to take out your account. You got to use
Right.
proper risk management. So that 20,000, within a week, I lost 6,000 within a week. So I'm like, man, like this thing just keeps going down. And I cashed out. I sold. My emotions was too high. And I asked the Wall Street Trapper in his Patreon. I said, look, man, this thing going south is bad. I feel like I'm gonna lose all my money. What should I do? Should I sell? And he straight up told me, I'm not selling. But if you gotta sell, go ahead and sell. Cause I can't tell you what to do with your emotions. And I wish he would have just told me, look, I'm not selling, you don't sell, because I wouldn't have sold. But
Right.
him saying, look, if you gotta sell, go ahead and sell it. That's all I needed to hear. And I sold it, and I sat on the sidelines for the rest of the year. And I kept looking at that same trade. It was a QQQ call that expired in March. I sold October 31st, Halloween, and I kept watching it. That was like the worst day. And then in November, it just kept going up. It kept going up. And then by Christmas, it would have been about 85,000. And I said, oh my goodness. So you mean to tell me I could have made $60,000 profit in 2 months just from just being in the market? And the market it's a
Yeah.
money printing machine, and people don't understand that. That's why I post about it every day on my Facebook, because I've only been investing since 2021. It's 2024. I had $0 in investments in 2021. It's 2024, and I got a little under 200,000 in investments today. So it don't take long, but also I invest a lot. I'm investing
Right.
people's salary in a month. I'm investing 4,000 a month, sometimes 5,000 a month in investments. Like that's like my minimum investment amount that I'm investing each month. I
So
tell people,
let's talk about real quick. Oh, my
go
bad.
no, go
I
ahead.
was gonna say, so from the military to, because you weren't investing while you were in the military, were you?
Yeah, I started investing in 2020 when I got out of the military in 2023. Well,
Okay,
20,
okay.
yeah,
So this is
2024 actually. I just got out the military. 24.
okay. So you fresh out basically. So talk about having that income to leverage because obviously you're making money in the military. I think that's what people don't understand. They want to invest, they want to trade, they want to start these businesses, but you need income to do that.
Absolutely, absolutely. Always gotta have multiple streams of income. So while I was in the military, I paid off all my debt. I had $54,000 of debt. Started listening to Dave Ramsey, became a Ramsey coach, and paid off $54,000 of debt in 9 months. So what I did was, I moved back home with my father. I was paying him $500 a month instead of paying, almost $2K a month in rent. I went back home. I know people don't like to hear that. I don't want to move back home with my parents. Well, you just gonna be in debt a little bit longer. It's okay.
Right.
Um, I started driving Uber and Lyft after I got off of work. So I would work with the military, do an 8-hour shift in the military, get off at 4 p.m., and then I would drive from 4 p.m. till about 10 p.m. I would do like 6 hours, 7 hours at the work. And I was making an extra $1,000 a week. So that's extra $4,000 a month that I was making driving Uber. So that brought my income up from, like 4,500, 5,000 in the military to 9,000 a month. And I was throwing, $5,000, $6,000 of money towards that debt. And that's how I was able to pay it off in such a short amount of time. And then, 2020, I was kind of chilling. I'm like, look, I'm out of debt. I'm enjoying my money a little bit. And then 2021, I was like, man, let me start investing. Like, what am I doing? I was investing maybe like $200 a month at first, but I'm like, man, I want to see this grow. So I started driving Uber again, no debt. And I was still with my dad. I was comfortable. Still with my dad. I didn't buy my house until the end of 2021. So I was still saving money to, be able to buy the house, even though with the VA loan, I didn't have to put any money down. But I furnished that house because I knew, like, look, this house ain't for me to live in. I enjoyed it for 6 months, but immediately I turned it into an Airbnb.
Okay.
And that was an additional, $4, $5, sometimes $6,000 a month coming in on those summer months. So you got 6,000 from the Airbnb, 4 to 6,000 from the Airbnb, 4 to 5,000 from Uber. Still doing Uber. And then the military paychecks increased over time. It got to a point where I was making about 6,200 each month in the military. So that's 6, 12. That's close to 16, 15K a month in income. So that's why I was able to invest, 5K a month. Maxed out my TSP. That account has the highest amount of money in it just from me and maxing out my TSP for 3 years. It has about
What
120.
is TSP for those who don't know?
So the TSP is the government equivalent of a 401k, and it's a Roth. It's a Roth TSP. So you can do a traditional or you can do a Roth. A traditional, you don't pay taxes on the money up front. You got to pay it on the back end. In a Roth, you pay the taxes on everything you've invested up front. So that way, when you retire, you no longer have to pay taxes on that money. So I ask people this. Over your 30, 40 working years, let's say you invested $400,000 over those 30, 40 years. Would you rather pay taxes on the $400,000 that you invested, or would you rather pay taxes on a $6 million that has grown to? The correct answer is pay the $400,000. Pay the taxes on the $400,000, because the more money, the more taxes.
Right.
And we've been paying Uncle Sam our whole life. Like, when you retire, let's just not even worry about taxes no more.
Right.
Now, the benefit of a traditional is you can deduct from your taxable income today. So if you invested $20,000, you deduct $20,000 from your taxable income, and that could potentially lower your tax bracket. So you save even more money on taxes, but it's going to bite you in the butt in the long run.
Right. And a lot of people aren't even thinking about IRAs and just different accounts and things like that. So transitioning to that, getting out the military. What made you want to go all in and get your licenses? You talk a little bit about that, but what was like that turning point where you decided that's going to be my career? Because a lot of people would have just, did the Airbnb thing, kept doing Uber. You took it
Mm-hmm.
up a step.
Man, I got a passion for it. And I wanted to be credentialed, and I wanted to actually be able to be people's financial advisor. Like I wanted to legally be able to say, yeah, I'm a financial advisor and I can be your financial advisor. I just closed my first contract with a high school. It's a high school in the inner city where I'm going to implement a 12-week financial literacy program with the students. And it's just the start. My goal is to transform the city from the inside out. I feel like, especially in our community, it's not being taught. Like, nobody knows about financial literacy. They don't know what a budget is. They don't know about assets, liabilities, how to calculate net worth. Even the last week of the 12 weeks is going to talk about setting up a will and a trust fund. Now that you learned all of these basics about money, how are you going to keep the generational wealth within your legacy, within your family? What are you going to write in your will to keep this intact? Because we see it all the time, man. People who didn't know anything about financial literacy, their parents left them a house, and what happened? They lose the house.
Yeah.
It's a trap house now. It's boarded up. It's vacant. We see it in every city. So I'm trying to be the change that I want to see. And also it's a very lucrative business. My first month licensed, I made an extra $4,000 that month. I talked to 12 people, but the guy over me, the broker, he made $80,000 that month in 1 month. And I was like, okay, I see the bigger picture. The pictures just keep getting bigger and bigger. Each little advancement from selling knives to where I'm at today in this business. And I ask people this: would you rather be the real estate agent selling the homes, or would you rather be the real estate broker with a bunch of licensed agents under him? You rather be
Right.
the broker because you get the
Broker.
override and commission. The dude that made 80,000, he didn't do anything. He just got 150 licensed agents under him, and that's why he's just sitting back chilling, making $1 million a year. So I see the bigger picture, and I want more licensed agents to, come up under me and do the same thing. If they got a passion for teaching people about finances, and if they want to get into the school system and talk to students, teach students, that's also another way to build your clientele up. Just being in that vicinity of the school, you're going to be talking to teachers. You're going to run into parents. The students going to be like, oh, my goodness, he's so good. Mom, you should talk to him.
Right.
They might throw their mom under the bus. Like, yeah, my mom don't know what a budget is.
Uh-huh.
Hey, that's a soft handoff for me. And it's just another way for other licensed agents to build their clientele as well. So,
Right.
and to get
So
paid.
how long?
Go ahead.
No, you can see my bad.
No, I was about to just say, and to get paid. You go in there for 1 hour a week and get paid. Get paid $300
Right.
for 1 hour. Teach these kids. Some people like, hey, $300. Imagine you got 10 schools. You going to 2 schools a day. You making 300 there, 300 there. You just made $600 in 2 hours talking
Right.
to students, doing what you love, and still setting up other families with generational wealth. A success plan. So, yeah.
Yeah. So what was the path like, to getting your licenses, your life insurance? How long did that take you? Because a lot of people get discouraged by the process of, just having to go through all that and taking tests and things.
Okay. Yeah. So one, I had to pay $99 for a background check. Because you're gonna be working with people money. You gotta go through FINRA and the SEC. So you can't
Mm-hmm.
have anything crazy on your background. It's a legit business. I don't get paid for paying for a background check. I don't get paid. I don't make any money. It's a waste of your time and a waste of my time if you're going to pay the $99 and don't even get the license. So get the license. The life insurance license you got to get first, because that's like the foundation. A lot of people say, I don't want life insurance. I don't want to think about dying. I don't think I'm going to die. Well, newsflash, you're going to die. We just don't know when. So that's the foundation. A lot of people just want to invest, and that's cool. That's fine and dandy. But let's say you can only invest $500 a month. And let's say you do that for a year, and then the next year you die. You was in a bad car accident, something crazy happened. I don't know, heart attack. I don't know anything. COVID. So you effectively saved your family maybe $6,000, $7,000. It might have earned some interest, maybe $8,000. Woohoo! When you could have had a life insurance policy in place for $500,000 or $1,000,000. I just try to, explain that to my clients. Like, look, yes, it is awesome to invest, but you need to have that instant estate in your back pocket in case you die too soon. The investments are for if you live too long. So the life insurance license, it took me 6 days to get it, all online. You didn't have to go to a class. 6 days. Nobody's beating my record yet. I'm still waiting for somebody to come in the business and get their license in 5 days. After I passed that and got appointed, I worked on the SIE, and that took me 7 days. It's 4 chapters. I do a chapter a day, and then I started doing the practice exams, and then I took the test in 7 days. Then I took my Series 6. I got that in another week. And then I took my Series 63. That took 2 weeks. And then after I got that, I took the Series 65. Now, I'm not going to lie, that got 24 chapters. That took me a month to do it. But this is all I do, though. So the person who's working a job, it's going to take you longer than 6 days because you got to go to work. You got to, I was literally just home studying, so
Right, you're locked in.
I was locked in. So 6 days, I would say the person that got a job, you should be able to knock it out in 14.
And this is all in the span of 1 year. You got all this done.
Yeah, so I got out the military in July. I got my life insurance license in June because I knew I was getting out. And then I got all 4 investment licenses by the end of August.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you just didn't waste no time, and I think that's important too. A lot of people, they know what they need to do, but they just don't take action.
Yeah.
And I think that comes to life insurance, that comes to investing. It's like people hear about it because it's not a secret anymore. There's no excuse now. You can't say that, it's only taught to this culture. It's only for this group of people because anyone can Google, anyone can go on YouTube, watch people like yourself who are dropping game all day, find the Dave Ramsey's. So, for people who are trying to figure out, what their next steps are when it comes to life insurance, what's a good starting point? Because I know there's different types of life insurance. Some people feel like, do I need a lot? How should someone gauge how much life insurance they're going to get?
Okay. Yeah, it's 2 ways to calculate it. You can do the 10 times rule. That's 10 times your annual salary. Or you can do the dime method. That's the more in-depth method. And I just don't like throwing out, a 10 times rule. So I actually ask the clients. So I go more in depth. So the dime, the D in dime stands for, funeral, death, and final expenses. So average funeral, let's just say 20,000. So you need 20,000 for the D, the death. The I's for income, we'll come back to that. The M is for mortgage. Let's say you own a home. Let's say you still owe, $400,000 on the home. You need to pay off the mortgage. You worked hard to get that house. So you need enough life insurance to pay that house off in the event that you die too soon. So let's do 420,000. We have 420,000 right now. Let's say you got 2 kids. I ask my clients, would you want to pay for your children's education so that they don't have to go into debt for college? Some say no, some say yeah. So let's say they say yeah. The average public university is about 21,000 to 25,000 a year. So for 4 years, that's 100,000 per child. So let's say you got 2 kids. So we're gonna set aside 200,000 for the kids. If they don't want to use it for, education, they can use it to start their own business. So we at 620,000 right now. Now that the mortgage is paid off, the education is paid for, the funeral is paid for, how much income a month would you want coming in for your family? So they don't have a mortgage, but let's say you leaving behind a spouse, your wife. How much money would you want coming in for your wife so that she don't have to, live uncomfortably? Still car insurance. It might still be, cell phones. The kids might need to go to daycare now. They might. So, some people say 2,000, some people say 4,000. I even had some people say, 10,000 a month. So let's say they say 2,000. 2,000 a month. So you do that times 12, that's 24,000 for the year. And let's say they got a kid that's 10 years old and a kid that's 8 years old. So they want this to last 10 more years until the kids are 18. So 24,000 times 10, that's another 240,000. So we at what, 620 plus 240,000. What's that like? That's ballpark 800,000, something like
Yeah, we
that.
almost at a million.
780,000. So that's how you calculate how much life insurance you actually need. And I always ask my clients, if you were to die, would you want to leave your family in the same predicament, a worse predicament, or a better predicament? Leaving at 780,000, would that leave them in a better predicament, the same predicament, or a worse predicament? I think we'll leave them in a. It'd be sad that you're gone, but at least they would be okay.
Right, right.
Yeah.
So talk about the different types of life insurance, because I know there's a lot of different people advertising different things, and like I said, because of social media, people are hearing so many different things when it comes to term policies and whatever the case may be. So what do you recommend for people, or just regular average people working a job maybe, but they want to make sure their family's secure when they leave this earth?
Absolutely. I would recommend term insurance because it is the cheapest and you can get the most amount of coverage for the cheapest amount of money. So, $1 million term policy for a 30-year-old healthy male would probably be, $100 a month. $1 million policy in an IUL or a whole life policy would probably be like $600, $700 a month. For $1 million. So the reason I recommend a term policy, because I'm gonna be honest, you don't need life insurance your whole life.
Mhm.
Why pay all this money for something you don't need your whole life? A whole life policy. No insurance is permanent. See what happens when you stop paying that premium.
Right.
We'll see how permanent it is. So I teach decreasing responsibility. So as we get older and we start, investing our money, building our wealth, and we start paying off debt, and our kids get grown and they no longer depend on our income, our need for insurance decreases. So, as I was saying earlier, how much coverage you need? 800,000. Now, let's say, some years go by. Let's say 25 years go by. You now have a paid off mortgage. You paid off your mortgage. Your kids are gone. They're out of the house. They're not in college. So you don't need 200,000 for the kids' education anymore. And let's say you've been investing these 25, 30 years and you now have $1 million in your bank or in your investments. Why would I pay for an $800,000 life insurance policy if I got $1 million in investments? I got a paid off house. My kids are grown and they're no longer dependent on my income. And I got money to pay for the funeral. Car insurance is to protect your car. Home insurance is to protect your home. And life insurance is to replace your income, because if you die, that don't mean them bills died. The mortgage still got to be paid, the rent still got to be paid, the kids still got to go to school, they still need new Jordans. So, but like I say, as we get older, we don't need life insurance. I call it renting the bag until you have the bag. Get a term policy, 30 years, 25 years, 35 years. Get a term policy. And at the end of that 30, 35 years, I'm an investment advisor. I don't sell IULs because I have my investment license. I just tell people set up their investment account. With an IUL, you got to actually borrow the money. They're going to charge you interest when you take the money out. I tell people, why not just take your money out of your investment account when you want it? Cut the middleman out. That's all I say. So buy term, invest the difference. I'm pretty sure people have heard that term before. Because like I said, if you wanted $1 million with a whole life policy, you'll pay $600. With a term, you'll pay $100. If you were comfortable with paying $600 a month, invest $500 a month.
Mm-hmm.
And I got some great mutual funds. I got one fund. It's a technology fund. It's up 42% year to date. Show me an IUL that's earned 42%. And show me a whole life cash value policy that's earned 42% year to date. I'll wait.
And you know, it's so many different things out there. You got crypto now, you got day trading. So just talk about that traditional investing, because a lot of people sleep on that. Like you said, putting $500, you know, into a good mutual fund or index fund, whatever. Just give a little bit of a
Mm.
basic strategy for the average person. You know, they're like, I don't have, you know, thousands of dollars to invest, but meanwhile they're buying Bitcoin at 90K. Right.
Mm.
So just talk about a little bit of a basic investment strategy.
Okay, so I tell people this, man. If you're really gonna call yourself an investor, think of it this way. If you were forced to hold this for 10 years, would you be comfortable doing it? If you would not be comfortable doing it, you're more of a trader than an investor. So your long-term investment accounts, these are something you shouldn't be looking at them every day. This is something that you should be, monthly contributing to. Your Roth IRA, your retirement account. I even have a minor Roth IRA for my daughter. I've been investing for my daughter, who's 9 months, since she was born. So we can set our kids up with retirement accounts. $100 a month. $100 a month earning 12% interest from age 0 to 60. She'll have $12 million. She'll have $12 million by the time she's 60. I'm like, look, daughter, I started this for you when you were an infant, fresh out of the womb. Now that you're working, you're 21 now. Continue investing $100 a month into this, and you'll have well over 10 million. This is how you set your kids up. You can do an UTMA account. I do an UTMA account for her as well. UTMA means Uniform Transfer to Minors Act. So you invest into it. When they turn 18, the money's transferred over to them. Now make sure you teach your kids some great financial values, so that they don't get this money transferred over to them at 18 and they just blow it. And I tell people this: it's not about timing the market. People try to time the market all the time. The S&P 500 is at all-time highs. I need to wait. The S&P 500 has hit all-time highs 58 times so far this year. So you keep talking about you need to wait. No, you need to get in the market.
Right.
Like I say, this is long term, man. And 100% return on $100 is only $100, but a 9% return on $100,000 is $9,000. Things are getting a little bit more interesting. And a
Right.
9% return on $1 million is $90,000. That's somebody's salary.
Right.
So, if you only got $100 in your investment account, you shouldn't be. You need to worry about contributing more, but stay consistent. We all started somewhere. Like I said, I started just investing $200 a month, and the fire just clicked in me, and I was like, man, I need to invest more. But we all got to start somewhere. Some people use the excuse, oh, I need to get out of debt first. Yeah, it is kind of like investing in an uphill battle, but I stopped saying, look, you need to get out of debt. I say, look, you need to start investing $50 a month while paying off debt, because if I wait for you to pay off debt, you're never going to pay off the debt, and you're never going to start investing. And I feel like
Right.
starting that investment account, even if it's a little $50 a month,
Mhm.
it motivates you. Once you start seeing that 50 go to 500, you're like, man, I need to really get out of debt and really start investing more into this account. So yeah, crypto. What was we talking about? I was talking about retirement accounts and UTMAs and
Right now,
custodial
you
accounts.
you be dropping keys, man. So I hope anyone watching this has their notepad out, because, like I said, a lot of people, they only see what's on social media, so they hear about crypto, but they don't even have an IRA account. They don't even have any type of long term investment account. They don't even know what
Yes.
Charles Schwab or Vanguard or any of these things
But
are.
that
So, how do you feel about alternative investments? Once you have things
mhm.
together, then you can get into crypto, then you can get into other avenues.
I'm not I'm not against Forex. I'm not against crypto. I'm not against options trading. But I am against it if you can't even max out your long term stuff. If you can't max out your Roth IRA, if you can't max out your 401k, if you can't max out the match and get the max out a Roth, then like, man, you got to earn some more money before you really start dipping and dabbling in this very risky stuff, because your feelings are going to get hurt. Your feelings are going to
Yeah.
get hurt. My feelings got hurt, and I'm just a little bit more resilient. I think I'm more resilient than the average person. But I'm telling you, the average person, they're going to get into this. They're gonna buy Dogecoin at 50 cents, and then it's gonna go all the way down to 10 cents, and they're gonna be like, man, my $70 turned to $10, and then they're never gonna invest again until they're
Right.
50. So, man, please do your long-term stuff. Max out your qualified retirement accounts. Get your foot in the water, because doing some options trading, day trading, forex, crypto, that's you basically jumping in the ocean. I'm telling you, if you
Right.
can't
Right.
swim, you bound to drown. I was going to say the deep end, but man, it can be the ocean. Yeah.
Yeah, no, anyone who's tried day trade, including myself, I know what it's like. I remember seeing you literally make that $1,000 day, and back then I was looking at like a standard lot. I'm like, oh, this dude turned $1 into 1,000, but
Hmm.
you think it's so easy, and then you lose that 500, you load up again, you lose another, so it can get ugly
Yeah.
real quick. And I look at all the accounts I've blown, and I'm like, man, if that was just sitting somewhere, in a nice little index account, tracking
Hmm.
the S&P 500 or whatever, the
Yeah.
Nasdaq. There's so many different things that you can, invest your money into that are just going to go up over time, right? People don't
Mhm.
realize like these index funds, they're meant to go up long term. So like you said,
Yeah.
people are so worried about it's at the all-time high when like no, it's going to keep making all-time highs because that's what wealthy people do. They're transferring money in here because this is an asset for the long term.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
I think a lot of people who don't have jobs, they oftentimes don't know where to invest. When you have a job, sometimes you have it, it's automated. So you might have that portion going to your 401k. But if someone is, an entrepreneur, self-employed, really trying to figure it out, how can they start investing? Or what platform do you recommend? What brokerages, if you're allowed to, give that out?
Yeah. I mean, so I work with Fidelity. I work with Franklin Templeton. I work with Invesco. I work with a few companies that people probably heard of. Fidelity right now is my favorite. They've got the fund. They got an aggressive growth fund, large cap fund. So it's got your companies that are with a market cap of 20 billion or more. Your big companies, Amazon, Apple, Nvidia. It's a technology fund that I really like. I don't foresee technology going anywhere anytime soon. I think it's only going to get bigger, better, stronger, and that's where I got a lot of my clients investing their money in right now in a good aggressive growth technology mutual fund. And yeah, man, I'm open. I do free consultations all the time to educate clients on what they may or may not need. I send a questionnaire over. They answer the questionnaire, and based off their answers, that's the direction I go with the conversation. So, like I
Right.
say, we go over your retirement income goal, because I don't know if Social Security is going to be around 30 years from now. A lot of people nowadays aren't working jobs for 30 plus years like our parents did to get a pension.
Right.
So, if you want to retire, you have to invest your money, or you're going to work till you die. I know I don't want to
Hmm.
work till I die. I'm sure you don't, and I'm sure the people
Right.
watching probably don't. The earlier you start investing, the better. The rule of 72. You take whatever interest rate your money is earning, divide it into 72, and that'll tell you how many years it'll take for your money to double. So your money sitting in the bank account, it earns 0.1%. That means your money doubles every 720 years. Now, let's say we get into a fund that's earning 12%. That means your money doubles every 6 years. So that's the reason why I only had to invest $100 a month for my newborn daughter for her to get 12 million. But if I wanted to get 12 million, I would have to invest a lot more. I don't even know, a lot more, because I don't have the time to double every 6 years. She's got a lot more doubling periods than me, because she's 0 years old. I'm 30, 31. So my time's cut in half. So 100,000 6 years later, it doubles 2 years, 200,000. Another 6 years, 400,000. Another 6 years, 800,000, and so forth. That's the power of compound interest. The rule of 72, it can either work with you or it can work against you. Credit cards, they're charging people 25%, 30% on interest in credit cards. That's it working against you. Working with you is you having your money invested. So, like I say, I got a lot of funds. I got a lot of access to funds that the ordinary person doesn't have access to. And they got some good track records. They've been around since the 1980s, and they've averaged around that 12%. But like I said, I think technology is going to get bigger and better. I can't make any guarantees. That's against the law. But I think from 2020 to 2060, I think technology may do better than 12% than the previous 40 years. That's a hypothetical, no guarantees, but yeah, I hope y'all learning something here, some education, and
Right.
yup.
And a lot of people, they want that one just big stock. They're looking for the next Nvidia. They're looking for the next, big bang. But a lot of times, if you listen to people like Warren Buffett, he talks about, investing into an asset class or into, a basket of stocks, because unless you really have that knowledge, most people aren't going to just pick that winner that's going to do 1,000%. So you make a very good point of picking something that can do 12%, 14% a year, and just compound over time. And I think there's a matter of patience that a lot of people see all these quick wins, because we do see more people than ever on social media, making $100,000 days and $100,000 trades. But for the average person, you're going to have to grow your money, for the rest of your life, if you want to see retirement and living comfortably at the end of your life.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. Because the instant gratification, I think that's what's wrong with the world. The instant gratification. Social media has ruined the world. We don't want to wait for nothing. I was even talking about how on Amazon, man, I'm like, man, these people don't even ship my stuff next day no more. Like, I might as well just shop at Shein. Like, this is garbage. I ordered something today. It's not coming until Sunday. So we are a very impatient generation, and I think it's because of social media and just the people showing their wins and not showing their losses, because they just think everything is all rose petals out here, And then we got people just giving bad advice, man. Open up an take out $1 million credit. I'm like, man, y'all telling these people to take out $1 million in credit, and they don't have no business to pay that back. I'm like,
yeah.
So I mean, it's just bad advice out there. You just gotta stay patient, put your head down, drown out the noise, invest, 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 and before you know it, you'll be a millionaire. Trust me.
Man,
Trust me.
that's
How fast you get to it is how much you invest.
right. That's solid advice. And two, you talked about, real estate too. I kind of want to circle back to that, because a lot of people just want to, go get real estate. Do you think it's important to start that long-term investing first? Or, if you have that money saved away, go ahead and get that property, maybe try Airbnb, short-term rental. What do you suggest to people who, they're like, I want to diversify, I got some savings. When is it time to go actually pull the trigger with real estate in your eyes?
Well, I tell people this: you ready when the mortgage is 25% of your income. That's when you ready. Because if your mortgage starts creeping up to that 35%, 50%, you're house poor. It's hard. Like you don't have the money to save. Just be comfortable. That's all. You're ready when your mortgage is only 25% of your income. If your mortgage is more than 25%, things start to get shaky. So yeah, just continue to save, continue to invest. Because if one thing goes wrong, or if you miss one paycheck, and that mortgage being so much, it's going to kill you. It's going to kill you. But home ownership is important. This is stuff that you can pass down to your kids. Like every house that I buy, it's not for me. I don't believe in selling homes. Buy your first property. Buy your second property. Teach your kids to do the same thing. 3 generations from now, you'll have 10 paid off homes in your legacy, earning $30,000 a month in rental income. That's how you got to look at it. You're an investor. Go from the trader mindset to the investor mindset. We're not looking to buy homes and sell them 5 years later for 100,000. No, we're looking to buy homes, keep them forever, and have 35,000 a month coming in rental income. That's what we're looking to do. In your heart, in your gut, you'll know when you're ready to buy a home. Until then, it's okay to rent. It's okay to save and invest. Just don't rush it. Don't go bankrupt. Don't foreclose on your home because you rushed it. I've had a few clients who
Right.
I don't even know how they got approved for a loan because they're drowning. 60% of your income is the mortgage. I don't even know why did they approve this. But hey, you here now. We got to figure it out. We either got to increase your income or you got to get a roommate. So yeah.
Right. And you hear guys like Grant Cardone, and he talks about, renting out where you live, and then, that first property, turn that into, an investment property. So do you believe that people should get investment property before owning their own house for their family and, starting their own personal household?
I mean, I did. I mean, I lived in the house for 6 months and then I turned it into an Airbnb. And then I got a nice little apartment down the street. And then there's something in my mind was like, man, I'm paying $2,400 a month for this apartment. I might as well buy another house. I don't know, it
Hmm.
just clicked to me. I was like, I might as well just buy another house if I'm doing all this. And
Yeah.
so I just bought it. I bought another house 2 blocks away from the Airbnb. Yeah, hey man, get the investment property. If it's going, a home is only an asset if it's bringing you cash flow. Other than that, it's just a
Right.
liability taken from your pocket.
Right.
Yeah. So, hey, I don't have nothing against it. Go ahead, get an investment property first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you said you're in the Airbnb business too. So, I see a lot of people now doing Airbnb, but they're not even buying properties. They're, getting apartments or, just kind of subleasing things and doing it that way. Do you think it's better to do Airbnb or in those type of things when you own the property? What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think it's better to own it. Like I said, I don't even believe in debt. I don't use credit cards anymore. I don't like not owning stuff. I buy it. I don't know. I don't even know how that stuff works.
Yeah.
You probably know a little bit more than me about that.
Yeah, I've been to a couple, seminars where you see people saying, you can just rent out this place and then, you could go ahead and kind of, hack it that way and, set up your Airbnb here and that way you don't have that responsibility if it's not cash flowing, you can just get out that lease a little bit easier versus, trying to sell a home. So I think it's a matter of preference too. It depends on, where you're at. Of course, if you have the money saved up for a down payment, you have to
Yeah.
have certain things in place to buy a home, which a lot of people, it's becoming harder in this country, especially with interest
Mhm.
rates and inflation and people just not being able to make
Yeah.
uh the debt to income ratio is real off now.
Yeah. Hey, I mean, yeah, do what you got to do. Do what you got to do. If this would be a way to help you increase your income and, build your debt to income ratio up, like, hey, I got 2 Airbnbs. I don't own it, but I mean, it's bringing me cash flow. I'm making an extra 1,500 profit off of these properties and I don't even own them. It's adding to your income and that way you can actually purchase your property.
Mhm.
Hey, I'm not against. Look, if it make money, it makes sense. Yeah, yeah.
Man, well, bro, you have given so much advice. I can't wait to watch this back and take some notes for myself. We've
Hmm.
talked about partnering up on some other things and just bringing more value to people and giving
Yeah.
people more information. So I just want you to kind of wrap this up real quick. And we're at the end of the year, fourth quarter. Literally, 90% of the year is over. What are three things that people need to do next year when it comes to just personal finance? And just structuring themselves to be in the best position going forward. If you had to give three solid tips, because you give a lot every day on Facebook, but
Hmm.
you could only give three.
All right, 3 solid tips is one, get you a low cost term life insurance policy. You want to get that instant estate in place. Now that you got the term life insurance policy, 500,000, $1 million, however, you want to get you a will and write up in that will what you want to see happen with this money if you do die. You don't want family members fighting over it, and you don't want to have to go through probate through the government. Because if you don't have a will, the government has one for you, and they're gonna take 20% of your estate. Avoid all of that. Get a trust and a will. 2, get out of debt. Get out of debt. 3, start investing. Investing for yourself, for your retirement. That's most important because you don't want to be a burden to your kids because you ain't saved no money. And now you 75 years old, you can't work no more. And now you talking about I gotta move in with y'all kids because I ain't saved nothing up for myself. Don't be a burden to your kids. And 2, set your kids up. Set your kids up. Open up an UPMA account. Get a custodial account. Get a minor Roth IRA. Yeah, have your babies out here with retirement accounts. That's a flex. I'm like, man, my 9-month-old got a retirement account. That's a flex. And yeah, we're going to be the change that we want to see. Our parents did their best, but they didn't have the information that we have access to. We have a lot more access. Hit me up if you need any advice. And yeah, man, that's kind of what I want to close with. Get your insurance, get your will and your trust, and start investing for your retirement and set up them kids right.
Man, you said it all, bro. Let the people know where they can find you. I know you're big on Facebook. Are you on Instagram? I don't even think I have you on
I
Instagram.
need to get back on Instagram. I took a break. I've been off of Instagram for a while, but you can find me on Facebook at Eric Ross. If you do facebook.com/or/ Eric ERIC. Ross, the number 24. That's where you can find me at. That's my profile. I'm doing free financial tips on a daily on there. I'm posting what's going on in the market, what's going on in my personal accounts for motivational purposes only. And yeah, follow me. Talk to me, I talk back.
Dope, bro. Well, I appreciate everyone for tapping. I appreciate you for taking the time out this evening, guys. Make sure you like, subscribe, hit up Eric, hit up myself, and just let's get ready for 2025, bro. You gave a wealth of knowledge on this call, and what we're about to do in the future is going to be amazing. I can't wait to see you in the school system. And like I said, bro, I appreciate you guys. So I will see you all on the next one. And yeah, let's get to it, man.
Hey, salute, man. Thanks for having me, bro.
Yes, sir.